Hey Tommy, we're somewhere, I think in Nevada, and we're on our way back to Colorado, towing our brand new Toyota 4Runner. And Tommy, the question people might be wondering, why are we towing it and why aren't we driving it?
Well, that's a great question. So we took delivery of this new 2025 4Runner in California because we wanted to be one of the first to buy the new 6th generation. The problem is, if we took delivery in California, we also would have to pay registration fees if we wanted to drive it on the road with a California temp tag, which we didn't want to deal with. So what we're doing is we're towing it back to Colorado where it's going to live, and then we can do all the licensing there.
Yeah, in fact, one of our videographers is meeting us in Moab. We're about to take it off-road with the temp tag so that we can actually drive it. I can't wait, Tommy, but let me show you something cool about this. Now, this is a trick that Andre taught me, and what we're doing is we've got it strapped down to the tires and wheels instead of the recovery points. Why is that?
Well, this is a really smart idea. The concept here is when you drive along, the trailer hits bumps. Those bumps are then transferred into the suspension of the vehicle, which then has the effect of tightening and loosening and tightening and loosening the straps. And over time, they get loose and then bad things can happen. Whereas if you tie it directly to a fixed point, which is attached to the trailer, the suspension can do its thing and not affect the straps.
Now, let's talk about the load. We've got our big Tex trailer, which is what, over 3,000 pounds. The 4Runner is 4,500 pounds. So what are we at? Let me do the math. Around 7.5-ish?
7,500, 8,000 pounds, that's right. Yeah, now this has been the workhorse of TFL, this flatbed, this tilt deck trailer by Big Tex. We've actually gone through 2 sets of tires already, and we're gonna need a third pretty soon because we're coming down to the wear bars.
Yeah, these trailer tires don't last.
Yeah, they really have been very disappointing in the durability.
Now we're using our new 2025 Silverado 2500 Trail Boss to tow, and this is of course the Duramax. And what's great and what I love doing is having a truck, in this case a heavy-duty truck, that has plenty of capability for the load, because it makes towing a lot more relaxing, which makes driving a lot more relaxing.
Yeah, and you can see this truck is running the new BF Goodrich KO3 tire from the factory. And this has been a nice thing to have because we did hit a little bit of weather in Colorado, which is why the truck is absolutely filthy. But I'm so glad that GM put a really expensive tire on this truck from the factory. That's been really nice. We put some running boards on this truck since last time you saw it because we had to deliver my 93-year-old grandpa to California when we picked up the Toyota.
Yeah, let me show you something. We not only had the running boards, but it's so tall, and he was, getting on in years, that we actually bought a little step stool for him. So between the step stool and the running boards, he was able to get in this very tall truck. Now, the crazy thing is I've been kind of looking around as we drive. These tires look very small for this truck. Most guys that have these trucks put much bigger rubber on them.
It is absolutely wild how huge these modern HD trucks have gotten from a height standpoint, but you really notice that when you try loading up a 93-year-old grandpa. But let's do this. Let's hop on in, and we'll take you down the road and show you what our trip has been like.
Hey, functional hood scoop. Functional, not fake.
So this truck replaced our long-term Ram 2500 Cummins, which we had for a couple of years, put around 40,000 miles on. It was an awesome truck. So this thing has some big shoes to fill. These trucks get used a lot behind the scenes, moving cars around the country. And that was the primary job of that Ram, was just as kind of a tow pig to move things around, which is what this Chevrolet's purpose is going to be as well.
Yeah, we've now got 3,400 miles on this, and we're going to put on another, 800 round trip. It's about 2,000 miles. Now, my favorite button in this truck is right there, Tommy.
Yeah, so that's the exhaust brake. One thing which I wish it would do was turn this on every time you hitched up. That would be cool too. You want to click on tow haul as well?
Yeah, that's another good thing. I wish you didn't have to do it. I wish the truck knew that when there's a trailer hooked up to it, that it would turn on the exhaust brake and the tow haul mode. Now, this exhaust brake is much different from the one in the Ram.
Yeah, it's not quite as effective. So the Ram was much more aggressive in downshifting when you slowed down to a stop, and utilizing the most of that I think what the Ram does, Andre knows this for sure, but I think it actually changes the direction of the vanes in the turbo to provide some braking force. It seemed to do a little bit more on the Ram than on the Chevy, but the Chevy still is a big difference when you push this. And I noticed, like, cruising through the mountain passes, when I had cruise control on, set to, let's say, 65, the engine was downshifting a ton with this button off, and really revving the heck out of it. And with this button on with cruise control, it would maintain 2,500, 3,000 RPM without going
Here's something
to
crazy.
the
I'm
moon.
going to floor it. We're getting wheel spin, Tommy.
Yeah, huge amounts of torque.
And this thing's probably pulling torque, and yet in two-wheel drive, it does give you wheel spin, and this thing just takes off. All right, so now we are heading back to Moab, Tommy, and I gotta say, I find this truck to be extremely capable and extremely comfortable.
Yeah, they did a really good job with this truck from a road trip capability standpoint. Side note, look at that setup in front of us. That's a beautiful rig that guy's got there. That coach with the 392 Wrangler, he's about to have some fun. But yeah, this has been a great trip. So we have all the information displayed on the screen in front of us here, but we've driven 1,378 miles, averaging 11.5 mpg. Now this is where things are a little bit interesting, because on the way out to California, we were actually towing our Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, which was a little heavier than the 4Runner and a lot less aerodynamic. And then of course we picked up the 4Runner several hundred miles ago. So Dad, what do you think? How does this truck tow?
I think it tows great. Now it's doing grade shifting right now. I've got the air brake on, and look, this is a very steep...
Air brake. We don't have an air brake.
I've got the
exhaust brake
on, air brake. Wouldn't that be cool if I had a giant spoiler that came out? And it's really slowing me down. Actually, it's slowing me down way below the speed limit. So between grade shifting and exhaust braking, this truck is doing a great job in hauling this load. Now, of course, 7,500 pounds is well below this truck's capability, but that's what I mean by it being more comfortable to drive a truck with more capability than the load that you're pulling.
Yeah, this has been easily my favorite part about this experience. Is just the sheer stability of this platform, between the effortlessness of the Duramax engine and then the preciseness of the steering, which I think is much better than the Ram that this truck replaced. It's just been an absolute breeze to tow this load across country.
Now, to me, the difference between the Duramax and the Cummins in the Ram is that this is much more, let's call it SUV-like. So if you want to drive a vehicle, I've got a police car over here who's pulled somebody over, so I got to move over. And of course, because drivers in California keep their lanes.
You're good. Look,
Okay,
we got the camera.
All right, good.
Oh,
good.
gee.
Yeah.
Something has crashed here.
Uh-oh.
Is it that Explorer? Did the trailer
it's the
tip over?
Explorer with, oh my God.
Oh no, poor guy.
Oh yeah, we passed that guy a while ago, and I thought to myself, that Explorer just looks so tiny. I think that was the first generation Explorer.
Yeah, and the little trailer he was towing had a little bit of a flop.
Yeah, luckily he looked like he was okay, so that's what counts. Anyway, let me get back to the difference between this and the Ram. So this is much more car-like, and if you like truck-like trucks, you know, with loud exhaust brakes and big diesel clatter, I think you'll like the Ram better. But if you like something that's a little bit more refined, and both have their virtues, then I think you'll like this better. Now, there are some negatives. The seats aren't grand, Tommy. There's not enough lower leg support. And I hate when they do this, but my seat is completely electric and yours is completely manual. Come on, GM, you can give us both.
Well, gotta spend more money.
Yes, you do have to spend more money. You always have to spend more money. Now, we didn't spend more money on Super Cruise, so we do have traditional cruise control, but not with adaptive. That's okay. Out here in the wilds of Nevada, or are we in Utah yet? Then you don't really need adaptive cruise control. And in general, it's just a pleasure to drive across country towing in this vehicle.
Yeah, it's been great. But couple of other little things we noticed. 11.5 mpg seems okay considering, you know, the mountain passes we've been traversing here.
I know what you're about to talk about. We had quite the experience. You want to tell them about what happened to us last night when we almost ran out of fuel?
Well, so the fuel gauge is super accurate from a full tank down to a quarter.
Yeah.
And we were at a quarter tank with 120 miles left.
And we had a cunning plan to make it to
Nevada,
so we wouldn't have to pay
California fuel prices.
Exactly.
So we had 50 miles to go and 120 miles of range left. That's like, great, no problem. But then the fuel gauge started dropping so quickly. It went from 120 to 80 over the course of maybe 10 miles, and then went from 80 miles of range estimated down to 35 miles of range.
Immediately, not over 80 miles, just like went from 80,
1 mile.
Yeah.
And then the gauge went from a quarter to an eighth to like a 16th, like that. It was so quick. So we had to pull over
and pay over $6 a gallon
at this terrible gas station that nobody goes to. Pay $6.20 to put 4 gallons of diesel in and make it to the Nevada border.
Ouch, we just got hit by a rock. Right now, the speed limit has gone back up to 75, so I can allow this truck to stretch its legs a little bit. Look, here comes that might be a G-Wagon square, Tommy.
Oh, yeah?
Look
I'm
at that.
some interesting things on the road.
Oh, no, it's just a regular G-Wagon.
Normal G. It's a Brabus, though.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. Look at him go.
Look at him go. I love the brown color, by the way.
So that's not what we traded in on the 4Runner. We traded a standard one.
And we had the old, is that the new one?
That's the new one, yeah.
Yeah, we had the old one as well.
So the power of this truck is insane. I mean, you get wheel spin in pretty much first through third gear when you're accelerating off the line. This Duramax is so much quicker than our old Ram. It doesn't have the same sound. That Ram had a really cool kind of clatter to it and had a lot of personality. This engine's a lot more kind of quiet and toned down, but it is a lot quicker.
Yeah, and I also love all of the displays here. So I could cycle through them, but we've got, fuel economy. I like to have transmission temperature. The only one that I have been able to find, Tommy, is turbo.
Yeah, no boost gauge, which you don't really need, but I think is kind of cool to look at. But yeah, we've got our Apple CarPlay screen been going. This has been working awesome with these little tiles as well, which is kind of fun. So you can kind of get some more adjustability there. And we have our dual zone automatic climate control. We've got our heated seats, our heated steering wheel, no ventilated seats on this. Got our trailer brake controller integrated down there.
Yeah, on the right side for right-handed people like myself, it's easy to grab. And the thing that I love about, and I'm becoming old and comfortable, Tommy, the thing I love about trucks is just how much shoulder room I have here. You're way over there and I'm way over here. And it's exact opposite of a sports car.
Why don't we show off the camera here when you get in the right lane?
All right, I'm going to go move over to the right lane right now, and you can see what happens. I do like the camera. I don't like that it's from 1982.
Yeah, the resolution, especially at night, is almost non-existent. So it's really hard to see exactly what is in that display. But it is kind of nice that it comes on.
Yeah, so overall, I'm very happy with this truck. And I would say it's a fine road trip companion. And yeah, I guess, I don't know, is 11.5 good or bad? I think it depends on your point of view. I mean, we are towing a lot of weight, and if you're one of these truckers, I'm sure 11.5 is incredible. And if you're in this Honda Accord that's about to pass me, then it's pretty horrible. So it just depends on your point of view, Tommy.
That's exactly right. Well, folks, let us know what you think in the comments below of our new Silverado HD and, of course, our new 4Runner. We got a lot of videos coming up with that. We're going to tow with it, bring it to Utah right now, and we'll get it on the road as well.
Yeah, and if you're wondering how much we paid for it and what specs we got, just head on over to alltfl.com, where we just published a video when we bought it. And coming very soon, we're going to compare it to what, Tommy, where we're taking it?
The Land Cruiser.
Yep. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.